What's up? Don't know why it wouldn't let me do this mobily. Tried to do it live and get everybody involved. Yada, yada, yada. But we got to do it like this. Doc Rivers decided to respond back to Paul George in a sit-down interview. It's quite interesting. Now, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to donate to the page, Carceno is the name. Karceno. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And the Carceno for Life Patreon is on Fuego. Fire. Absolute fire. As you learn a whole lot of stuff that's been going on this month with me. That ain't really been talked about on this channel. Now, let's get to it as to why you're here. Paul George did an interview with Steven Jackson on The Smoke, or whatever it's called. And he sat there and did the interview, and boy, oh boy, did he just lay into Doc Rivers as the excuse for his poor performance in the bubble. He came out and said that this was he came out and stated that this was a difficult season for him because he had to do so many pin downs in this season, and he's treating me like I'm Ray Allen or JJ Redick or something, and and I'm not that kind of player, and he's just like, man, I'm just in so many pin downs. So I understand what he was saying. But when you do pin down plays, for you, most of you might not know like what that phrase means. Normally, it's like a pick that's set that gets the teammates away from, that gets the person away from the ball that is angled going baseline. And that's something that they would do mostly for a J.J. Redick type of player or Ray Allen, who's just a knockdown shooter. Now, when you start talking about pin downs for Paul George said that this was hindering him in the season, and Doc was changing the styles and that they didn't make adjustments down the stretch. So Doc sat down and defended himself while he was there. And he said, when he sat down, Doc said, wow. He said, if you go back and look at it, we did more pick and rolls, high screen pick and rolls with Paul George than any pin down than he ever did all season. So he's like, I don't understand what he means by that. He did pick and roll, high pick and roll at the top of the key more than anything he's ever done. And he's right. Paul George is involved in a lot of high pick and roll screens near the top of the key. Very little did I see him do pin downs. And he said scoring wasn't the problem. The Clippers were second in scoring in the NBA. Their problem was winning. Everybody was individuals, and they wasn't playing together as a team. Doc said he loved playing with Paul, coaching Paul and everything else. He just said he didn't feel he had enough time. He only had them for less than a year because the team was starting to come together, and then they got hit with COVID. And then everything split up and everybody went back to being individuals again. So when everyone comes to that realization, and you gotta basically start all over again once everybody get back in the bubble. And that just wasn't ideal for everyone. Right? So, like he said, Ray Allen, he had a heck of a career. So, to compare himself to Ray Allen, it's pretty good. Ray had a pretty good career. But Doc took the high road. He took the high road because he could have really went in on Paul George. Doc broke down what the real problem was. Chemistry. There was none. Not everybody was on the same page. Kawhi was, I'm thinking about championship. Guys was thinking about, we going to get to the championship by riding Kawhi Leonard and he's going to get us there. Others are thinking differently. They're not thinking about a championship at all. Matter of fact, the talk probably discussed them. They can care less about a championship. So, when you start thinking about all of these different scenarios that are appearing, we want to know why is this the case for Paul George? Why does Paul George think that this is the reason? Because now Doc ain't here. It's going to be all on you, Paul George. Let's see what you're going to do. Because I watched you play against the Lakers in the first exhibition game, and you played the same way you played in the preseason that you play in the regular season. I see the same problems. I see the same poor shot selection. I see the same rushing of shots instead of taking the flow of the offense. I see it all. So, again, I got to ask, what was your goal here? Just throw Doc under the bus and blame him for the whole season and see how it works out? And ride that gravy train? Because it don't make sense. And somewhere down the line, it got to make sense, especially to me. Next, he going to blame Kawhi. If it don't work this year, he blaming Kawhi. You heard it from me first. He blaming Kawhi. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason he blaming Kawhi is because he has nowhere else to go. It can't be him. He can't take that. Can't be Paul George's fault. Everybody like, man, Doc just mad because he dogged his daughter out. And then, Doc don't care. She's married to She's married to Seth Curry. Doc got what he want. He ain't got a richer son, but he's a Curry. She's a Curry now. She's part of that family. So Doc is part of the Curry family. Doc good. Doc got his own money. The daughter got her money. The son got his money. So they all one big happy NBA family. So now, the only thing we got to look at now to move forward is quite simple. What will the Clippers do now? Doc already got his 76ers, and he rolling with them. But what's going to happen now with Paul George, who didn't realize that his problem is not what he's doing on the court offensively, physically, it's mental. Your problem is mental, Paul. You can't escape the talk. You can't escape the people criticizing you on social media. You can't escape the fact that they criticizing you on the world stage, on ESPN, what's his name, Fox, Undisputed, Skip Bayless, all of them. They all gonna come after you, Paul, and you know it, and you can't deal with it. You always second banana. Y'all gotta wake up and smell the coffee. Smell that Folgers crystals. Paul George is on the hot seat. Trade him for James Harden if you want to right now. If James and Kawhi can't get it done, then fine. You want to stick with Paul? All right, go ahead, stick with Paul. But Paul better get it done this year. You better show and prove. But it ain't going to happen because you're going to hit the panic button when the game is on the line. You choke. You panic. You can't handle pressure type situations. You're not calm enough to do it. Not poised enough. And that's why you fail. So Clipper fans, it's all or nothing. This is it. Now, for everybody else, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The Cash App is Carcino. Hit that notification bell, select all. And the Carcino for Life Patreon is on what? Fire.